Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadha Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so first of all I give pranams to Gurudev, Vishnupad Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj. All devotees, thank you for coming. So first time we're speaking English without Spanish or Russian or anything. Okay, so this is class for new people. So tonight we'll speak a little bit about Bhagavad Gita. Sarah has read Bhagavad Gita? Can't hear? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Just I switched off. But now she can answer. Sarah, you can answer now.
Sarah, have you read Bhagavad Gita?
Yes, we've read a little bit on our own.
Okay.
We've started.
Try and read you can read the whole thing in 3 hours. Okay, so Bhagavad Gita is part of the Mahabharata. That was compiled pretty recently, only 5,200 years before. So it's even though the Vedas have no beginning, the Vedas are eternal. From the beginning of creation, Vedas manifested from that time. So previously, the Vedas were spoken only, because no need books. That time people had such intelligence, such long lifespan, such power of retention. They heard once, they could remember everything. But now in the modern age of Kali Yuga, which began also 5,200 years ago, no one has any memory. Right? What we had for breakfast yesterday, even we have to think. No? What we were doing this time last week, can't remember. No? So, Krishna, out of his compassion, took a special incarnation. That name is Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva is considered the literary incarnation of Krishna. So all the oral histories which were there in the 4 Vedas, he put pen to paper. He compiled the supplementary Puranas, the Upanishads, the Puranas, everything. But he made one special Shastra that is specially designed for low-class people in this age. In this age, everyone is low class. Kalo Sudra Sambhavo. In Kali Yuga, all are Sudras, 4th class of persons. So Vyasadeva has compiled very easy scripture, not too much philosophy, because people have no power to understand philosophy. That is called Mahabharata. Also, especially people so much taste in materialistic topics, right? Everyone's mad. What's Trump doing? Everyone's crazy. What's happening in sports? What's happening in politics? Everyone's so much interested in what the next door neighbor did. Some gossip. So people so much absorbed, especially in these type of topics, love affairs, politics, betrayal, friendship. These are materialistic topics. So externally, the Mahabharata is full of these things. Histories of great heroes, first-class women, they fall in love, this and that, dynasties. So much materialistic topics. Right? Because the general person has so much interest in this, so much taste. Like we had a seminar on, Gogamaj would say, if we opened a naked dance club with free chicken and free vodka, then millions of people would turn up. But if we advertise pure Harikatha, pure topics of Krishna, no one would come, 1 or 2. So Vyasadeva understood this very nicely. So he compiled the 5th Veda, the Mahabharata, which is full of materialistic topics. Just like the fisherman catches the fish by putting some worm or some meat on the end of a hook. And by that he catches the fish and brings them in. In the same way, through people's taste, affection for materialistic topics, Vyasadeva would attract them and gradually bring them into spiritual life. Mahabharata is a huge literature, more than 100,000 verses. Huge. No? And it's the story of two families. Actually, one family, that is the Kurus and the Pandavas. So the whole Mahabharata is full of these histories of these two families. Then finally they came together in the greatest war of modern times. No? On one side were the great heroes, Arjuna, Bhimsen, Yudhisthira, Nakul, Sahadev, and kings of the whole earth planet took one side or the other. I think it said there was more than 650 million soldiers on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. You can imagine how big it was. So kings of the whole world, not just India, they chose one side or the other. So it's a bit like the soap opera when it starts, next week, see what happens. So people so much become absorbed. What will happen in this great war? This war will decide the fate of the earth planet. His name is Arjuna. And Krishna, the Supreme Lord, is his chariot driver. A bit like an Uber driver, a very low position. So Krishna, Arjuna ordered, take me in the middle of the battlefield. Krishna, I want to see which side is against us, who has come to fight. So following Arjuna's instruction, Krishna took him to the middle of the battlefield where he could see both sides. When Arjuna saw all his friends, relatives, his grandfather, even his guru, his 101 cousin brothers, all friends, then naturally his heart melted. How can I kill them just to become king? Only reason that one wants wealth and land and position is to serve one's elders for the benefit of others. What's the use of a kingdom soaked in the blood of those very persons whom I should be serving? Then Arjuna gave many other arguments why he should not fight. If I kill all these men, what will happen to the women? They will have no protector, no guide. The children will have no guidance. Then I will be the cause of the destruction of the family dynasties and the society. So the greatest hero in the world, Arjuna, became full of doubt because natural devotee is soft-hearted. So you could imagine people so much absorbed. What will happen next? At that time, Arjuna surrendered to Krishna because he could not understand what to do and what not to do. Is it better to fight? Is it better to not fight? So he surrendered to Krishna, and that time, during the course of Bhagavad Gita, he asked Arjuna asked Krishna 16 questions. These are all the questions that we have in life. If you look in Bhagavad Gita, there is the answer to every single question. So this Bhagavad Gita is 18 chapters. So just like a pearl is protected by two lids, two sides of the shell, the pearl is the middle 6 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita. Right? From 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. These are the center, the jewel, the pearl of Bhagavad Gita, which deals only with devotion. And the other two, the first 6 chapters and the last 6 chapters, like lid of a box, like the shell of an oyster to protect the pearl. And those 6 chapters deal with karma, means materialistic activity, and gyan, knowledge aimed at liberation. So there are 108 main Upanishads No? But Bhagavad Gita is considered the best of all of them. Therefore, another name of Bhagavad Gita is called the Gita Upanishad. Upanishad, that which brings you near to God, is called Upanishad. But the Bhagavad Gita or the Gita Upanishad is considered the best. Why? Because it doesn't just bring you to God, it's spoken by God. Anyway, I thought that was funny. No? Other scriptures talk about God, but when God talks about himself, that is Bhagavad Gita. So, Krishna says in the last chapter, one who hears, one who studies this Bhagavad Gita, worships me through his intelligence. No? So just by reading Gita, studying, hearing, trying to understand, this is devotion. This is worship of Krishna. So, today we want a little bit talk about 9th chapter. This is my personal favorite. No? Because Krishna describes himself. So, Krishna is considered the topmost authority. Why? If Krishna is free from the 4 defects. In this world, everyone, from the topmost Lord Brahma down to the insect, everyone have 4 defects. These defects are disqualifications that all of us possess that make sure that we cannot understand their perfect knowledge by ourselves. Just like a person locked in a cell or locked in a dark room cannot understand what is outside. So those with the 4 defects, they cannot comprehend spiritual life independently. They are Brahm, Pramad, Vipralipsa, Karanapata. 4 defects we all have. Imperfect sense. Number 1, imperfect senses. In this world, everyone relies upon their senses for knowledge. No? I can see something by eyes. I hear about something by ears. I can understand, like for example, a mango. Knowledge of a mango I can get by my senses, by smell. One type of understanding comes by tasting, by seeing. Okay, cannot hear a mango, but anyway, you get the idea. So in this world, everyone's relying on the senses for knowledge. But problem is, these senses cannot give us perfect knowledge because the senses are themselves imperfect. Right? I cannot see what's happening in the next room. Sometimes our mind is distracted with someone's talking to us, but we are not paying attention. That time we cannot understand anything. So all the senses are defective, right? Limited. Even though the scientists try to extend the organs of sense perception by microscopes, by telescopes, by all these type of things, still maximum you can get knowledge of this world. But what is beyond this world, that knowledge you cannot get by senses. So the soul, what to speak of God, the super soul, are both beyond sense perception. So senses are imperfect, therefore cannot give perfect knowledge. Number 2, we make mistakes. That defect is inherent in everyone. No need to explain that too much. So if we have the tendency to make mistakes, then perhaps our understanding of the absolute truth is also mistaken. So that is a disqualification. Vipralipsa, cheating propensity. Cheating propensity means, of course, to deceive someone, but it also means to give someone imperfect knowledge. That is also cheating. For example, someone asks you, where's the police station? Oh, 100 meters down the road, second left. But it's not the second left, maybe it's the third left. So you've deceived someone by giving imperfect knowledge, the cheating propensity. Even someone may believe they're right, but still they give that knowledge which is imperfect, it's still cheating. And last, illusion. All creation are captured by illusion, then it, by its own definition, it's impossible for you to understand what is beyond illusion. So everyone has these defects. Your parents, your teachers, the people who are writing books, the educators, the politicians, the doctors, the lawyers, the taxi drivers, the pizza chefs, the street cleaners, all young, all old, all black, all white, all men, all women, all possess these defects. But Krishna does not possess these defects. Why? His senses are unlimited because he's everywhere. Krishna is omniscient, therefore he sees everything, smells everything, tastes everything, hears everything, and touches everything. His senses are unlimited, therefore he is free from that defect. He never, because his knowledge is perfect, he never makes mistakes. He is not affected by illusion because he is the creator of illusion. He is not affected by his own creation. Like a spider in a web, everything else is captured in the web, but the spider is not captured. No. And finally, because he has perfect knowledge, whatever Krishna speaks, he never deceives anyone. He never cheats anyone. So Krishna is forth from these defects. Krishna is the only one who is free from these 4 defects. And those who take their knowledge from Krishna also by his grace can also become free from the 4 defects. Understand, Sarah? Okay, she's still there, I don't know. I can see her, but no. If you can hear, just do like this. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I don't think Manorama can hear me.
Maybe she has troubles with internet.
Okay. Everyone else can hear? Nanimuki?
Yes, we can hear.
Manorama? Funny, huh? The only person I'm doing the class for can't hear. Anyway, so Krishna is free from the 4 defects, therefore that knowledge that he himself speaks, that will be the topmost perfect knowledge. Therefore, Krishna's words in the form of the Vedas, these do not require any other supporting evidence. No? Therefore, the Vedas describe, if you want to understand the Vedas, do like this. Just like the doctor when he gives some medicine. If you want this medicine to work, you have to do like this. Therefore, Krishna, within the Vedic system, Krishna has also given the process by which this Vedic system can properly be understood. Therefore, if we try to understand the Vedas by taking a different approach from what Krishna himself recommends in the Vedas, then that Vedic knowledge will not be revealed to you. So, anyway, so today we'll speak a little bit about the Vedic knowledge. Okay, where have they gone? They've disappeared. So, everyone else depends, everyone else has to take...
back already.
What? Anyway, so everyone else depends upon something else for their knowledge. But the nature of the Vedic evidence, it does not depend on anything else. It depends only upon itself. Therefore, the Vedic knowledge is called Swatsiddha, self-manifest, self-supporting knowledge. It does not depend on anyone or anything else to support it. No? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the evidence to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Everywhere we see that stool is impure. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave these 2 examples. How the Vedic statements should be accepted directly. Everywhere, stool is impure. Stool of pig, stool of dog, stool of Sri Lankans, stool of Mexicans. All stool, chicken stool, everything. Deer stool is impure. But stool of cow, pure. No? You cannot give argument. Why? No, Veda says, then you have to accept. And another example Mahaprabhu gave is the conch shell. Everywhere it says bone is impure, human bones, chicken bones, fish bones. But the bone of the conch that is pure, we can use in sevas. No? Therefore, Mahaprabhu gave these 2 understandings. What the Veda says, we just accept. So this Bhagavad Gita should also be accepted like that. Actually, this Bhagavad Gita, there's two types of, the Vedas have two divisions, the Shrutis and the Smritis. Shruti means that which Krishna himself speaks, and Smriti means that which is revealed in the heart of the great personalities. Like Jaiva Dharma, all these other books, these are also called Smritis, because the Vedic conclusion revealed by them in another manner. Like what Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written, what Gurudeva has written, what Saraswati Thakur. These are all called Smritis. So Smriti is like the fruit. And Shruti, the original statements of the Supreme Lord, this is like the tree. It's a very intimate relationship between the tree and the fruit. Therefore, it says one can get perfect knowledge, just like a person has two eyes. One eye is the Shruti, one eye is the Smriti. So this Bhagavad Gita is the topmost class of Shruti Shastra. Okay. So, perfect knowledge is revealed by Krishna's potency called the Samvit Shakti. The potency of knowledge. So Krishna himself is the presiding deity of all knowledge. Krishna's body is made of chit. Chit means knowledge. So whatever Krishna speaks, or whatever knowledge is spoken about Krishna, that is pure and perfect knowledge. So I want a little bit talk about 9th chapter. In 9th chapter, Krishna talks about himself. Sometimes Krishna has to preach about himself, because in the end of the day, who else is going to do it? In the beginning of creation, Krishna preached about himself to Brahma. In the beginning of... So this Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna explains when this knowledge is lost. For example, in the beginning of creation, Krishna spoke to Brahma. Brahma then spoke that knowledge to his disciple Narad. Then Narad to Vyas, who wrote this Mahabharata. This is called Parampara. So if this knowledge, somehow this disciplic succession is broken, which it never is, but just for argument's sake, Krishna says, again, I come and I speak this knowledge. Okay, so don't think this Bhagavad Gita only spoken 5,200 years ago. In 4th chapter, Krishna said, no, I spoke this knowledge in the beginning of creation to the sun god. Beginning of creation means the next day of Lord Brahma. So as Krishna is eternal, this Bhagavad Gita is eternal. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur discusses two main obstacles for entering spiritual life. Hang on. Two main obstacles are there. I'll just see if Madhavan is still there. Is she still there? She's gone. Amazing.
No, she's here.
Okay. Anyway. Okay, don't speak. It's all right. Can everyone hear me? If everyone can hear me, just put their thumbs up like that. Yeah, tell Malati to shut up. Malati, don't speak anymore. Okay, so what we were saying? So Krishna, in the beginning of creation, Krishna preaches about himself. Because at the end of the day, who's going to start everything? So in 9th chapter, Krishna preached about himself. Krishna described himself. So two main obstacles are there in spiritual life. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says the first is materialism and the second is impersonalism. These are two obstacles. So materialism means to think that Krishna is material. Most people, oh yes, if you look in the Oxford Dictionary, Krishna, right? They always say mythological figure, right? If you look in the Oxford Dictionary, Krishna, mythological figure. Yeah, but they never say Lord Ram is they never say that, Muhammad was mythological figure or Jesus Christ is mythological. They never say that. But Krishna always mythological figure. Therefore, most people, even if they do accept Krishna, still they have the misconception, he is like us. He have a material body like us. And the second misconception is impersonalism. Many people think, In this world, all form, everything that exists has a cause. Everything that exists has a beginning. Everything that exists that I see, taste, smell, hear, and touch, anything that I can conceive of, that I can conceive of in my mind, everything has a beginning, has a cause, it is temporary. So they think, well, this is material knowledge, and God is the opposite of material knowledge. Therefore, God must have no form, no name, no qualities, no pastimes, no associates, no abode, nothing. So they think God is impersonal. So these are two. Okay, good. Okay, Manorama says she's there, but just can't speak. So, right. So these two misconceptions, Krishna himself uproots in the 9th chapter. Therefore, this 9th chapter is called Rajaguhya, most confidential knowledge. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks many, many different levels of knowledge. One is general knowledge, general knowledge, right? And Krishna speaks general knowledge for everyone. For example, he says to Arjuna, "Oh Arjuna, don't eat too much, don't sleep too much, don't enjoy too much," right? One who is moderate in recreation, eating and sleeping, that person can achieve happiness. So this is general knowledge for everyone. Don't eat too much, don't sleep too much. This general knowledge he gives. 5 levels of knowledge. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gives the most basic knowledge. Then he gives confidential knowledge that is called Atma Tattva. Right? Knowledge of how we are not the body. We are the eternal soul. We are not man, woman, black, white. Nowadays, everyone's trying to fight. Black lives matter. Then the policemen say, no, blue lives matter. Other guys are saying, right? Even that, the blue BLM, blue lives matter. The police lives matter. The black people saying black lives matters. Then all the white guys are saying, what? Only black lives matters? No, all lives matters. Everyone's trying to make some remedy based on the material conception of life. But we say, no, this is all false, because to begin with, you're not the body. So this is all spoken in 2nd chapter. Therefore, all solution can only be solved on this spiritual platform, where everyone has the same spiritual identity. Everyone has the same eternal spiritual nature. So that is Atma Tattva, 2nd level of knowledge. 3rd and more confidential, Krishna speaks Paramatma Tattva. Right? Knowledge of the super soul, right? The soul and the super soul. Many people accept the soul but do not believe in God. But question comes, then who is regulating everything? Who is controlling everything? Who is creating everything? Who is destroying everything? There is a controller. Why? Because I cannot fulfill all my desires. That means I depend on someone to fulfill my desires. I'm not independent. Right? We are controlled by time. We're controlled by karma. We're controlled by many, many things. Therefore, we are not independent. Therefore, we are controlled persons. We are not the supreme controllers. So knowledge comes of Paramatma Tattva. And then confidential and more confidential knowledge. So here, Krishna speaks most confidential knowledge. Complete, more complete, and most complete knowledge. So that is given in 9th chapter, Rajaguhya Yoga. So Krishna says, Arjuna, I will now speak this most confidential knowledge to you. What is that? Pure devotion. So someone may say, why Krishna is speaking this most confidential knowledge only to Arjuna? Krishna says, this knowledge will liberate you from the miseries of the material existence. It is the king of all knowledge, the monarch of all confidential topics, the king of all confidential topics. It is supremely pure and can be directly realized. No, it is easy to understand and it is eternal. And what is that knowledge? That is the knowledge of devotion, bhakti yoga. So that is the most confidential knowledge. Okay. Why Krishna is speaking? Krishna says, why? Arjuna, you are my friend and you are non-envious. No. Everyone deep in the corner of their hearts, everyone has little envy to Krishna. Some more, some less. Because the basis of devotion is there's only one controller, only one enjoyer, and that's Krishna. So when normal people hear about this, isn't it? Anyway, we travel so much around the place. In many places we give 4 days lectures, 5 days lectures. So you see in public lectures, when you speak this general knowledge, okay, everyone happy with that. Even you speak Atma Tattva, the soul knowledge, everyone very happy by that. But then when you speak anything more, as soon as you mention Krishna, half the audience walk out and never come back. It's amazing. I've done it so many times. As long as you don't speak about Krishna, everyone will be very happy with everything. But as soon as you... Right, most people just get up and never come back. Everyone have envy of Krishna. No? Why he's the enjoyer? Why everything's for him? What about me? Where's my share? No? So this envy of Krishna very deep rooted. So Arjuna not envious of Krishna. Krishna enjoys everything. Arjuna is happy by that. And also here very intimate relationship. There's two qualifications of Arjuna. Non-envious, but non-envious is not enough because even a neutral person may be non-envious. But neutral person cannot be friend. So Arjuna is not just non-envious, he's also the friend of Krishna. So these two qualities Arjuna has. No? So, Ashwadadana Purusha Dharma Yasya Parantapa Aprapya Mam Nivatante Mityu Samsara Vatmani. Oh, people who have no faith in this Dharma which I am now about to speak to you, they cannot attain me. They wander on the path of material existence which is full of death. Okay. So Krishna explains himself. Especially when we hear about Krishna, everyone thinks, well, Krishna's like me. Maybe he's a little special, but he's like me. Just like Madhusudana Maharaj gives the example, when the moon reflects in the ocean, then the sardines in the ocean, they think the moon is like us. He's also silver, he also moves, he's also in the water. So maximum people think Krishna is the same as me. Maybe some person who is a little more free from envy. Krishna is some special person, they think. Like some saint or something. But what is Krishna's actual position? Krishna himself explains in this Bhagavad Gita. So Gogamaj would say these next two verses, maybe people have Gita with them, they can little study. 9th chapter, verse 4 and 5. Gogamaj said these verses 4 and 5 contradict each other. Okay, Lady Kishori, got it there? 9th chapter. Do you have my little Bhagavad Gita? Can be yours for only £3. 9th chapter, verse 4 and 5, page 312. I think Purushottam's got 100 with him, right? So Gogamaj said these two verses contradict each other. So normally in material logic, if something contradicts each other, there's no reconciliation. But in spiritual topics, Krishna is that person, impossible opposite, and conflicting qualities can be in him, and all is harmonized by his sweetness. Krishna has that ability to harmonize impossible opposites. Like in material logic, day and night. Day and night completely opposite. Cannot be together at one time. But impossible for Krishna. Krishna has no birth, but he is born. He does nothing, but he performs pastimes. Right? He is equal to everyone, but affectionate to the devotees. Right? So Krishna has these qualities in him. Amal Krishna can understand my English? Okay, so Mayat tatam idam sarvam jagat abhyaktamurtina matstani sarvabhutani nachaham teshu avishtita. Okay. Nachat matstani bhutani pasya me yogamiswaram bhuta brit nacha bhutasto mamatma bhuta bhavanaha. Okay, these Gogamaj too much quote these two verses in his lectures. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagat avyaktamurtina. Also, so Krishna says, I pervade the entire existence. Maya tatamid. Maya means me. Right? Maya tatamidam sarvam jagat avyaktamurtina. I pervade the entire existence. So if something pervades everything, we have no experience of something all pervading. So we think sky, right? Material logic. What's something? Ether. Ether pervades everything. But ether has no form. You cannot see it. So God must be like that. He must be impersonal. So Maya tatamidam sarvam jagat avyaktamurtina. Krishna pervades the entire creation. No? Matstani sarvabhutini. Inside me, everyone resists. Everyone rests inside me. But nachaham teshu avisita. But I am not in them. Okay, got a Purushottam? Krishna pervades everything. Matstani sarvabhutini. Everything rests in me. But I am not in them. Okay, someone can understand that. Okay, Krishna's everywhere. Everything in him, but he is not in them. Okay, I can understand. Next verse, Krishna says, Matstani bhutini, but everything does not rest in me. Behold, pasyam me yogamas aiswaram. Just see my mystic opulence. Bhuta Brit. I am the support of everything. Nacha bhutasto. But I am not in them. Mamatma bhuta bhavana. Yet at the same time, I am the soul of all creation. So Krishna is inside everything. Everything rests in him. Yet at the same time, he is also different from his creation at the same time. This is impossible. No? So Bhaktivinoda, let me read this. I am not within the universe in the same way that earth is contained within a pot. Right? If you take away the earth from a pot, what's left, Purushottam? Nothing. No? So don't think Krishna is like that. Don't think Krishna has become the creation and lost himself, like earth in a pot. This world is not a transformation of me, nor is it a vivata. Okay, if you read Chaitanya Shikshamrita, you have a copy, Kevin? Okay, have you read it? Nice. Okay. Bhaktivinoda Thakur dedicates so much to these two words, vivata and parinam. Okay. So most people, especially the followers of Sankaracharya, they think, okay, Krishna is a parinam. This world is the parinam of Krishna, a transformation of Krishna. In simple language, Krishna has transformed himself to become the creation. You know, like people say, God is, you ask people, where is God? God is everything. Then you go, is this God? What do they answer, Kevin? Many times I use this trick when I preach. Where is God? God is everywhere. God is in everything. So God is everything. Yes, yes. Is this God? If they say yes, they run into trouble. No? If they say no, they run into trouble. So how everything can be God, yet at the same time not God? That is Krishna. So nothing. So Krishna says, this world is not a parinam. This world is not a transformation of it. Just like if you take milk and you put in yogurt and you come back the next day, the milk is transformed into a different thing. So Krishna says, this world is not a parinam of me. I have not transformed myself into the world. And another one is vivata. Vivata means to mistake something as something else. That is called vivatavad. Like sometime you see a rope on the ground and you think it's a snake. Or you see mother of pearl in an oyster shell and thinks it's silver. These are two examples of vivatavad. Like yesterday I saw a snake on our land. It's pretty amazing actually. It was quite big, fat. Then I was trying to explain it to the Bengalis. Oh, he had diamond shaped. He was quite fat. Then Madhumati showed me was it this one? Oh yes, that's it. It's exactly what. Then they were saying that's the most dangerous snake in the world. It's called a Chandra. What's he called? Chandrabada. He spits poison on you. And then a guy, like, I was quite close to him, like 3 feet, but he didn't spit on me. But anyway, the point is, forgetting about the snake, you see it a rope and you think it's a mistake, this is called vivata. No? So Sankaracharya gave this example. The jiva, he thinks he's a jiva, but he's actually God. He's actually Brahma. So these are 2 examples, vivata and parinama. So Krishna says this world is not a vivata of me. This world is not a parinama of me. So here is an explanation. Okay, here is an explanation of parinama. Same example I gave. Milk is a pure substance. In contact with a souring agent, it turns to yogurt. This is called transformation. This yogurt is a parinam, a transformation of milk. Here is an example of vivata. To mistake one object for another, like mistaking a rope for a snake or silver to be an oyster. This is called vivata. So Krishna says, I am the supreme absolute entity. This world and everything in it, including all the souls, all directions, all earth, water, fire, air, ether, all senses, all sense objects, time, whatever you see, moving, not moving, all has come into existence by my potency. But Krishna does not lose himself. He remains unchanged and his energies manifest everything. But Krishna himself does not personally become everything. He remains unchanged with a peacock feather in his head, playing in his hat, playing flute, darkish complexion with a garland of forest flowers around his neck, lips like a bimba fruit. He never changes. And everything that we experience, that is transformation not of Krishna, but of Krishna's energies. No? So Krishna says, my potency is the doer. My energy is the doer. Well, I remain different from both the individual living entities and the material world. Understand, Sarah? Can she hear?
Yes, I understand.
Okay. So this world and everything in it is not Krishna. It's Krishna's energy. Okay. So this is big understanding. Actually, in the beginning, I remember I used to think, oh, God is an energy. Right? Everyone's always talking about energies. So in a restaurant I used to work in, one devotee was there, thank Krishna. So one day I said to him, God is an energy. Then he said, no. Energy always comes from somewhere. Therefore, God is not an energy, he's the energetic. And 3 days I thought about it. 3 days. I could not sleep, Then after 3 days I had to admit, he's right. God is not an energy, he's the energetic. So Krishna explained this. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadavyaktamotina matstani sarva bhutene nachaham teshu avishita. The whole universe is pervaded by my form, which is beyond material sense perception. All living beings are situated in me, but I am not in them. So where are we now? Shanti, where are we? Can't hear.
You mean where we now? What do you mean?
Where are you now?
In Perm? Yeah.
Are you in your apartment? No, you're in the stomach of Krishna.
Okay.
Right? Think about it. Where are we now? We're inside Krishna. Right? What's the proof? When baby Krishna ate dirt, and Mother Yashoda said, are you eating dirt? Krishna lied, no, I'm not. Then Mother said, I don't believe you. Open your mouth. And what did she see inside Krishna's mouth? The entire creation. No? So Matstani Sarva Bhutane, everything is in me, but I am not in them. Means Krishna, despite the whole creation being in Krishna, coming from Krishna, resting in Krishna, still Krishna is separate from the creation at the same time. In simple language, the whole creation is nothing but Krishna. But Krishna is also separate from his own creation. So this is impossible, right? Therefore, Krishna says, Pasyam me yogam is aiswaram. Just see my mystic opulence, my mystic power, which makes the impossible possible. Nacha matstani bhutani pasyam me yogam iswari. But all that's created also does not actually exist in me. Behold my supernatural mystic power. Although I support and maintain the entire cosmic existence, I myself am not part of it. Wow. Where's Krishna really? Is he in this? Really? Is Krishna in the material creation? Shanti? Where's Krishna in this material world? He's not. He's in the spiritual world. Okay, that's when people use logic and argument, it fails. Therefore, this is all called achintya, inconceivable. Okay, Sarah, inconceivable does not mean it cannot be understood. It can be understood if you adopt the correct process. And that process is surrender to Krishna. By surrendering to Krishna, then by Krishna's grace, you can understand him. Otherwise, it's impossible. Well, so even though everything in the creation, moving and non-moving, all the souls and all the material elements come from him, he himself pervades everything at the same time. He is not part of this world. Okay? I remember I think last year I said, I was reading this and I asked Didi, so where is Krishna in this world? Didi said, that's why everything realized by spruti, by meditation, you can realize. Otherwise not. Then Krishna gives us some examples. Of course, there is no example to give. But unless he gives us some we cannot conceive. A blind man he's drinking milk, then he asks his friend, what is milk? What example you give of milk? How do you explain milk to a blind man, right? Milk is like a swan. Oh, really? Then blind man never seen a swan? Oh, what's a swan like? What's a swan? So the man did like this, made a swan with his hand, and the blind man was feeling, oh my God, that's a swan? And milk is like that? If I drink it, it go to my throat, then I'll die? Oh, I not drink milk again. So even though again and then scripture gives some examples for us, at the end of the day, these examples also not perfect. Because material logic, material example can never give perfect explanation of these inconceivable spiritual truths. But to encourage us, Krishna give us some example. No? So, yata akasha stita nityam vayu sarvat go mahan tata sarvani bhutane matstan iti upadara. So Krishna says, just like the sky is all pervading, no? And the wind moves many clouds and many things in the sky. So the clouds are in the sky, but actually the clouds in the sky are completely separate because the clouds are always moving, but the sky never moves. So Krishna says, in the same way, just as the all-pervasive and limitless wind rests always in the sky, and the elements are situated in me, but I am not part of them. I am not in them. Sarva bhutani kuntaya prakitam yanti mamikam kalpa kshaya punastani kalpa do visvajyaham. When at the end of the creation, the entire universe merges into me. No? At the end, and then the next day of Brahma, again I create. No? So all creation coming, understand, Constantine? Is my English too fast? Probably. Anyway. So creation coming, creation going. But Krishna never comes, Krishna never goes. He always remains unchanged. So prakritim swam avastabhya vishajami puna puna bhuta gramam imam krityam avasam prakrita vasta. So anyway, Krishna talks about the creation. So nachamam tanikarmani nibande dhananjaya. I observe everything, but I am always remain detached. Udasin. Udasin means Udasan in Hindi means like detached, like no interest. So all the creation going, but Krishna not attached to the creation. He is not part of it. Understand? I remain detached like a neutral observer. From my actions, such as creation, these actions cannot bind me. Sometimes we think, oh, God must be very cruel. God, but at the end of the day, Krishna absorbed in himself. He's fully neutral to everything. Maya adhyakshana prakrita suyate chu characharam. Under my direction, the eternal potency gives birth to the cosmic manifestation. Means the material energy gives birth to this cosmos with all moving and non-moving entities. For this reason, the material world is created again and again. And who's doing it all, Shanti?
Krishna.
Krishna. Right. So Krishna is describing his own appearance in this world. Abhajananti mamudha manusam tanamasrita param bhava janato mama bhuta maheshwara. First verse. Fools whose intelligence is bewildered by illusion disrespect me when I appear in my human-like form, being unaware of my supreme nature as the Lord of all beings. Okay. Therefore, Prabhupada, when he wrote his Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj said a very beautiful thing. I remember when I first read the introduction. He said, if you want to understand this Bhagavad Gita, theoretically, what's theoretically in Russian, Shanti?
Теоретически.
Theoretically.
Same, like теоретически.
Right. So when you pick up Bhagavad Gita, theoretically, you should understand Krishna's God. Theoretically. Otherwise, Bhagavad Gita makes no sense. If Krishna's just an Indian, if Krishna's just another guy, if Krishna's just a politician or a human, or even a saint, or a famous person, or a king, then Bhagavad Gita makes no sense. But if Krishna is God, then every verse of Bhagavad Gita has some meaning, some understanding behind it. So first thing we can understand, Sarah's still there? Try and find it. Oh, Brinda's there, good.
Sarah's still here.
Trying to find it. Oh, Yamuna's there. Wow, many people here. Okay, still there, Sarah?
Still here.
Go like that? Okay, good. Okay, because you've tolerated Manorama for so long, and Krishna's giving you some mercy. Because if you can tolerate her, everything else should be easy after that. No? You've already done the hard yards now.
Back.
Gita, we should hear who is Krishna, we should hear with this understanding. The understanding that Krishna himself gives about himself. With that understanding, we hear Bhagavad Gita. What? Padabja, bring my milk, please. Can you bring my milk? Yes. What else is there somewhere? Okay. Another busy day of eating and drinking. Okay, so I was saying, if we hear Bhagavad Gita, then with which vision should we have of Krishna? We should try to have the vision of Krishna, which Krishna himself gives of himself. Then Bhagavad Gita makes sense. But if you listen to the Indologists, or the politicians, or the historians, or the politicians, or the non-devotees, or the so-called intellectuals, or the atheists, or the materialists, if you hear with their understanding, then Bhagavad Gita you will never understand in a million years. But if we hear Bhagavad Gita, we try to see Krishna and understand Krishna according to the vision that Krishna himself gives, right? Everything becomes easy. Abhajananti mamudha manusam tanamasa. So the first thing we have to do, those whose intelligence is bewildered and think that Krishna is an ordinary human, manusam tanamasrita, they think Krishna has also taken a body like. Right? Manus means human. Tanu means body, asrita. we take shelter in the body, right? We are the soul and we're now living in a human body. Right? We are soul having an experience of a human being. So asrita means our souls have now taken shelter in a human body. So we are different from the human body. Some souls now experiencing dog body, cat body, tree body, insect body. So we have taken shelter of this body. The soul has taken shelter of this body, but that is not permanent, right? How long we stay in this body? Right? 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, 100 years. But that is not permanent, because in this world no one has permanent situation. Donald Trump so hard he's trying to stick on to power, but not possible. Because in this world everything moves. So if we think Krishna is like that, then Krishna says that person is fool, mudha. Mudha means idiot. Fool. So if you think Krishna has also taken a temporary body, just like us, then Krishna said that person is fool. Parambhava majanata. They do not know my parambhava, my supreme spiritual position. Para means topmost. Mama bhuta maheshwaram. And I am the controller of all other living entities. Okay. This 9th chapter is so much nectar, really. Mogasa, moga karmasu, moga gyan vicheta saha. Rakshasya mashuram cheva prakriti mohinamasrita. 11th verse is very sweet. Oh, wow. Yes. Cake. Good. Mogasa. My Mogasa. Those who think Krishna has a material body, those who think Krishna is just another human being. Then Mog Asa. All desires bewildered. Moga Karamatsu. All their activities bewildered. Moga Jnana Vichetasa. All their knowledge useless. Vichetasa. Their minds are always distracted, always disturbed. So such persons who do not accept Krishna's position as God, then Krishna says, everything they desire, everything they do, and every knowledge they have. Rakshas means demons. Rakshas actually means meat, like human meat eater, cannibal. Rakshasim asuram, demon. Cheva prakritim mohima srita. Their minds are distracted and they adopt the nature of the deluded, ignorant, and demonic. So pretty much everyone who doesn't accept Krishna as God, who are they, Anupam? What are they? Rakshasas, asuras, or just plain old bewildered. You should learn these verses. Anupam, you try and learn these few verses, right? 9th chapter, 9, 10, 11, 12. No? So, the hopes of such bewildered persons, their hopes for liberation, their hopes for material gain, and the culture of knowledge all go in vain. Thus, with their minds distracted, they adopt the nature of the deluded, ignorant, and passionate. Actually, the real word is demonic. Ignorant, demonic. Hare Krishna. Anyway, yes. Any questions, Sarah? Which one are you? Are you a Rakshas and Asuras, or just... Anyway, so Mahatmanas tu mama parta daivam prakritim asrita bhajanti ananya manaso gyatva bhuta dimavyayam. I used to have all these verses memorized. So Krishna talks about the demonic non-devotee whose intelligence is always bewildered, always distracted. But not everyone is like that. So Krishna now describes the divine, those under shelter of the divine nature. Mahatmanas tu mama parta. They souls. No? They have taken shelter of Devam Praktimasrita. They are not bewildered by the external energy. They have taken shelter of the spiritual nature. Then what is the nature of the great souls? Bhajante ananya manasa. They worship me with one pointed mind. Gyatva bhuta dimavya. They know that I am the source of all living entities and I am imperishable and unchanging. Okay, wow, 1 hour passed quite quickly. Okay, any questions, Sarah? Was it too much of a bashing for you?
I do have a question.
Ninth chapter is the sledgehammer. If you survive the 9th chapter, everything else is easy. Yes? What's your question?
When you talked about Krishna being the energy, does that mean that energies are all around us? Although Krishna's all
energetic. Krishna's the energetic.
The energetic. So his energies are all around us.
Yeah. Whatever energy you see, where does it come from?
Krishna.
Right. If you understand that, you can become devotee. So the material energy, the spiritual energy, whatever it may be, what's the source of it?
Krishna.
Krishna. Right. So those who accept that nature of Krishna, they're called the great souls. And what's their qualities? Bhajante Ananya Manasa, they worship Krishna. They think of nothing else but Krishna. And how do they accept Krishna? The original and imperishable cause of everything. The original because he's the cause of all causes. He has no cause, but he's the cause of everything. And avyayam. Avyayam means no change. Avyayam. What's the word he uses here? Avyayam. Okay. The imperishable. Avyayam means actually not changing. Have you ever seen a picture of old Krishna?
No, I don't think so.
No. Krishna with glasses?
No.
What do you call the false teeth? What are they called?
Denture.
Denture, right. Have you ever seen Krishna with dentures, glasses, false, what do you call, wig, extending, protruding stomach, wheelchair Krishna? No, always eternally, 15 years, 8 months, and 2 weeks old. No? And it's like that, because he's not created, right? The creation comes from him, but he has no creation. Everything begins from him, but he has no beginning. Everything changes, but he does not change. That's why he's called Avyayam. So in its simple language, who accepts Krishna, they're great souls under divine protection. And those who don't accept it, no matter how much they may be pious or good persons or honest or truthful, but actually they have no belief on Krishna, then they're actually demonic, low-class persons. Therefore, sometimes even devotee has fault. Still, that fault not really have any real hold on them. Just like roots on a mushroom. Roots on a mushroom they cannot hold the mushroom. So whatever fault we may see in devotee, that is also temporary. They've taken shelter of Krishna, quickly it will be finished. So it's a great fault to criticize devotee for some temporary error, some temporary mistake they have. Satatagita yantomam, and what's the nature of the great souls? Satakita yantomam yatantascha dridabrata. Satatagita yantomam. Kirtayanta means to chant. They're always chanting my glories. Yatantascha dridabrata. They follow everything with very strong vow. Vrata means vow. Right, Manorama? No drinking, remember? No drinking, no smoking, no chasing boys. We make these vows, 4 regulative principles. So those who are under the divine protection very strongly, they stick to principles. Just like Raghunath Goswami, his all qualities were like a line in stone. Just say you see a stone and some line is there, you cannot rub it out, you cannot remove it. Like did his all qualities, like line in stone, never change. So Satatakita Yantamam. So what are the qualities of the great souls? Always chanting Krishna's glories. Worshipping him with great unflinching endeavors. Endeavoring with the determined vows. Namasyantis chamam bhaktya. They always bow to me. They always take my shelter. But they always engage in my worship. Nityuktu pasad. They're eternally connected with me. These are the symptoms of the great souls. Okay, so we may not be great souls now, but at least we're in the line to become great souls. We are in the line of great souls. So just stay in line. Right, Sarah, when you go to the bank, right, there's a huge queue. You get your number from the ticket counter. Funny, a few days ago, I was walking through ISKCON, and there was a line for prasad, I swear to God, half a mile long. Half a mile long. No. So you join the line, okay, maybe you're at the back of the line. But all you have to do to get that sweet rice is just stay in line. No? Okay, maybe you're in the back, maybe you have to wait a bit, but just stay in line. Therefore, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, what the son has to do to get his inheritance, all he has to do is just stay alive. Means we are sons. Sons means sons and daughters of Krishna. What's our inheritance? Perfection. What do we have to do to get that inheritance? Just stay in line. Don't leave the line. Okay. Hey, this was really nice. I haven't given an English class for months. It's been quite refreshing. Well, we can do this a bit more often. Maybe I'll scrape some classes off the Spanish and the Russians. Hare Krishna. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, Sarah, just one thing. When you walk out of the class, just two things you have to remember. Krishna is not part of the creation, right? And the second one, he is the energetic. He is not an energy. He's the source of all energies, but he himself is not an energy. He's the energetic. If you could just walk out with those two things, then this is the most confidential knowledge. So easy, right? Krishna says, easy. Krishna himself explained to Arjuna, so easy, so simple. When people with simple heart hear this, just accept. For those whose intelligence is crooked, they'll give so many millions of arguments. Right? They say everything is God. You say, okay. Krishna, they go, yes, yes. And when we say Krishna is God, they say no. Hang on, you said everything is God. Yeah, everything's God except Krishna, right? Anyway, Haribol, thank you. Any questions from anyone else?
Yes, Gurudev. Can I ask a question?
Who is this?
Lalita is aquí.
All right, okay, Lalita Saki. Yeah, sure.
Okay, in the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the soul can't be destroyed, that the soul is eternal. But in Jaiva Dharma, it is said that souls of Mayavadis who are attracted to impersonal Brahman, they merge in Brahmayoti, so they are destroyed. So how can they be destroyed if soul can't be destroyed?
So Brahmasuyuj means they merge with the Brahmajyoti. Those souls are not destroyed. It's like a green parrot which flies into a green tree, right? It looks like the parrot's dissolved, but he's still there in the green tree. So the souls which merge with the Brahmajyoti, they still have their existence there. And how long can they stay there? Because there is no relationship, there is no taste, there is no activity, there is no nothing. So after some time, again, they come back to this world. Right? But another type of merging is called Ishvara Sayuj. Like the followers of Patanjali Yoga, they are so much unfortunate because they accept the form of Paramatma, but they still want to merge with it. So Ishvara Sayuj means they merge in the body of Krishna personally. So those souls, they are destroyed. Gaugamaj explained, like if you get a frijoli, a bean, right? And you fry the bean, fresh bean. The bean still exists, but his potency to sprout and make new beans, his life potency, that is destroyed. So the souls who merge with Krishna's body, they still exist, but their potency to be individuals, that is destroyed. Understand?
Yes, thank you very
Hello?
much, Gurudev.
Okay.
Yes.
That's why they're considered the most unfortunate. For that reason, Raghunath Goswami says, Mukti kata nashvini iti vyaganana. Don't hear topics of mukti, merging, because it's like the mouth of a tiger. If you go in the mouth of a tiger, do you come out?
Okay.
On his stool, I guess. Right? If you go in the mouth of a tiger, you'll never come out again. That's the meaning. So those who merge in the body of Krishna means they still exist, but their desire, their potency to be individuals, that is destroyed. It's a little bit inconceivable, no? That's why it's such a dangerous philosophy. That's why Prabhupada called it spiritual suicide. No? It's exactly what they're doing, no? Destroying the self. Very sad thing. No?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Gurudev.
Anything else? Brenda, ¿cómo estás? ¿Todo bien?
I'm good, Gurudev. Thank you.
When you coming to India?
Maybe this year.
Try and come. Tell her in Spanish, try and come next year, no? This year.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Nice to see everyone. Not so many English speakers there.
Hare Krishna, Gurudev. Can I ask a question, please?
Okay, Anupa. Hey, Radhika, why these other guys from Washington are not joining?
I don't know. I sent them a reminder and Lalita did as well, so I'm not sure.
So how much can you tell them? Yes, what's your question, Anupama?
I think that Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktivedanta Swami, he translated and make commentaries of Srimad Bhagavatam, I think until 9th canto. And
he did a bit of the 10th canto, but he not finished it.
Yeah. So my question is, where do we find some reliable source, I mean, to read the Srimad Bhagavatam from
Prabhupada's disciples finished 10th, 11th, and 12th cantos. You can read that.
You think it's an authorized?
What, you're going to study Sanskrit for 15 years and do your own commentary?
No. I mean, yeah, I was.
Yeah. Blind uncle, Gogomach said, blind uncle is better than no uncle. All right? Okay, maybe it's not 100% perfect. Doesn't matter. It's better than never reading the 10th, 11th, and 12th cantos, right?
Okay, yes.
Blind uncle is better than no uncle. No? Yes, I read it all the time. It's nice. Bhagavatam is Bhagavatam. No? Okay. Anything else?
Maharaj? Tamal from Vilnius.
Oh, yes, Tamal from Vilnius.
I have a question.
Yes.
When Hiranyakashipu asked Prahlad, is your God in this column? And he said, yes. How to reconcile this?
Because Krishna said in that verse, Maya tatamidam savam, I am everywhere. I pervade everything. So he's there. So he's there at the same time he's not there.
So we can understand as his energy.
Personally also.
Okay.
Paramatma is also all pervading, right?
Correct.
Paramatma is there in every atom, so he's there also. He's there also. Any question, Lola? Right. When Hiranyakashipu said, oh, Prahlad, you're always talking about an all-pervading Vishnu, but I haven't seen him anywhere. Where is he? Oh, Father, he's everywhere. Is he in this pillar? Then Prahlad could see him, yes. Because Supreme Lord never out of sight of the... So then Hiranyakashipu punched the pillar because very angry. So to prove the words of his devotee correctness, Sringadev manifested from the pillar to show that Krishna is in everything. He is there, but at the same time, he is not there. That is Krishna. Okay, any question, Lola? Okay, who else is there? Okay, Milana. There's another Sita. Oh, Krishna Chandra. Indumukhi. Prema. Haridev. Haridev, okay? Good, thank you for coming. Indumukhi. Who is there? Debbie, Subhadra. Many people who don't use camera. Okay, thank you, everyone. Maybe you can do